Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anuj, as you know, I was introduced. So my presentation is about cloud infrastructure and hybrid cloud use cases and solution, which Hitachi Vantara present to its customers. So this is the brief agenda. So I will talk about hybrid cloud and why hybrid cloud is important and what type of challenges IT is facing in managing the multi-cloud environment. And finally, some use cases from Hitachi on hybrid cloud and how Hitachi services can help in realizing the benefits of hybrid cloud and running the operation smoothly. So before going into cloud, let me basically tell something about my company or my group. So Hitachi Group is actually a group of diverse companies, and there are more than 900 companies which are there in this group. And if you see, basically, it is into diverse field, manufacturing, transport, railways, and IT. And we have actually more than 140 years of experience, more than 110 years of experience in operational technology, and more than 40 years of experience in IT. So, but these companies are doing, we are actually together developing solutions with our experience in the operational technology and what type of challenges they are facing, and the joint solutions we are creating and sharing with our customers. And if you see, basically, we are also spending about $4 billion annually on R&D. Hitachi Vantara, the company which I belong, is actually a digital engine and is responsible for creating the IT solutions along with these operational technologies. So the future is cloud. If you see, moving to and operating in basically highly distributed IT environment is basically which is a must thing for all the data-driven enterprises today. And already we have seen basically from some survey that approximately 90% of enterprises have already realized their IT operations on these multiple clouds. But these enterprises are not only looking for the multiple cloud, but what they are expecting. They're expecting approach where their applications and their critical data can realize, can leverage the IT infrastructure which is there on their private cloud as well as public cloud seamlessly. Secondly, they wanted to run their applications and these workloads on their private cloud, but also wanted to leverage the infrastructure on the public cloud so as to meet the occasional spikes in their workload or whenever the traffic grows. So naturally, so many companies are there, and many more companies are joining this hybrid cloud because it's in their strategy to basically meet the goal of the digital transformation. So hybrid cloud is today, present, and also the future. Now let's see what are the basically importance. So the importance of hybrid cloud lies in the fact how we can leverage the resources at our private cloud, but at the same time, leverage the benefits which come from the private cloud in terms of scalability, right? So the hybrid cloud actually also allows you to basically optimize your cost and give the scalability, requires scalability, and also you can secure your application environment by putting your sensitive applications on your private cloud and less sensitive application on the public cloud. The flexibility and scalability where your infrastructure can scale from your on-prem data center to the public cloud seamlessly, where you can basically meet the fluctuating demand as well as meet the workload spikes which are there. So the flexibility and scalability is one part. Cost optimization, as I mentioned just now, by the sheer volume of the hybrid cloud to public cloud, where the costs are basically reduced. Then security and compliance, you can run your critical applications on-prem, and there you can basically have all the security control. Your industry regulations you can apply on that data, And for the least critical applications, you can move them to the cloud, public cloud. Business continuity and DR strategy are the de facto standard for the hybrid cloud. You can create your data copies or your applications can run on the public cloud, giving you the basically redundancy and also the quick time to recovery whenever there is a disaster at your primary site. So these are some of the benefits of your public cloud, hybrid cloud. Now, what IT is facing the challenges on when they are basically going on the hybrid cloud. So first is data is growing at a very fast pace. And data is not growing only at one point, but data is growing at edge, data is growing at core or their data center, and also on the cloud. To manage this large volume of data, which is distributed across many such islands, is a tough challenge. Secondly, the business users are demanding more and more applications. And they want those applications in a very faster way. So applications are growing, your data volumes are growing. So as per IDC report, worldwide report on digital source to 2021, approximately the data which is created on the cloud is growing by 36%. And the data which is there at edge is growing at a rate of 33%. So there is a huge volume. But at the same time, there is a report from Gartner which says that the IT budgets are getting flattened. And if these budgets are adjusted to the inflation, so you are actually having the negative growth on your IT budgets. Means there is a 3% negative growth on IT budgets. So with these competing challenges, where one way you are having the data volumes growing, your infrastructure growing, and secondly, the budgets are coming down, and thirdly, the skill gap is also basically coming down. So there is not basically enough public cloud sort of skills in the organizations, and they are also facing challenge to retain their talents. So retaining the talent is again a challenge. So with this, actually, it is difficult to manage your public cloud. Apart from these challenges, there are other challenges also, like if the organization moves to cloud, they will see that the cost suddenly starts shooting up. And this cost over a period of shoots because there is a egress charges. Whenever their data is growing at the cloud, and whenever they have to access their data, the egress charges is growing. So the cost is no doubt increasing. And managing these clouds across multiple clouds, the IT infrastructure is a challenge. So these companies are looking for solutions, and I think the companies like Hitachi can solve their challenges. And let's see basically what type of solutions we are having now. So these are some of the use cases for the hybrid cloud. One use case is disaster recovery. So it means basically you are having a copy of your data sets on the public cloud and using it whenever there is a disaster or using it for some other purposes also. Another use case is backup. You can basically back up your critical data to cloud, and whenever required, you can restore from there and bring down the basically SLA for restoring your applications. Another use case is burst for processing. Burst for processing is basically when there is a lot of user application traffic, and you have to basically leverage some computing on public cloud. So that is basically the process where you have to basically take the compute resources from cloud, as well as you need to tier some of your data to the cloud so that those applications in cloud can access your application data. Another is burst for capacity. It is nothing but basically data tiering, where you can basically move your data to the cloud and then for additional capacity so that you don't have to actually upgrade your systems or purchase new storage systems at your data center. As per Gartner, the technology which are deployed for realizing the public clouds are hardware technologies are basically hyperconverged infrastructure, storage arrays, software-defined storage systems, and data management software, to name few. Let's see what are the basically Hitachi solutions on this hybrid cloud. So this is a solution. If you see, basically, there is a customer data center where you are running your applications normally. And then there is a near cloud. Near cloud is actually your local cloud service provider where you can replicate your data for either for the disaster recovery or for the data backup. Then there is a connect from CSP locations to the public cloud. And it basically allows you to move your data to the hyperscaler of your choice. It can be basically AWS, it can be GCP, or it can be Azure. So this is a basic framework on which actually our use cases are basically using this framework. So this is the first use case, backup to near cloud. So here you are having basically Hitachi main storage, VSP, at data center. And this backup can be realized in two ways. One is basically replicating or moving or shipping your snapshots from your enterprise data center to the CSP infrastructure. So CSP, your cloud service provider will provide you the bandwidth link, which would be a dedicated and a secure link. And you will actually ship your snapshots from your on-prem to the CSP center. It can also be from the snapshot, it can also be some backup solution like Hitachi Data Protection Suite from our company. So which can actually move the backups from your primary data center to the near cloud. Now this HDPS can also basically reduce the traffic because it has basically the source-based deduplication and compression, so it can reduce the traffic, and you also require lesser amount of storage at the CSP, so bringing your cost down. Since the solution is basically up to CSP only, so you don't have to actually go for the egress charges. So there again, basically you are saving on the cost. Next use case is about disaster recovery. So here actually at the CSP locations, which is also a co-locations, we are deploying the Hitachi storage and then setting up the replication from customer data center to the CSP location. And this is again basically can give you a lot of cost saving because you don't have to basically ship all the data, but use any additional software for shipping your data, but the inbuilt technology of the storage system can replicate. Now the extension for this particular, as I mentioned in my first framework, is that once you are basically shipping or replicating to your CSP location, from there, your CSP is having the direct connectivity to the public cloud of choice. So this is actually very special case where basically what you can do basically, like on the AWS, you can use the EC2 compute resources to connect directly to the storage system at the CSP locations. So thus you can basically leverage the compute capacity at the public cloud and run your application when there is a huge demand. So the connectivity between CSP and AWS data center or the location is basically, shall be basically high speed and low latency for this to work. And in future, you can actually move from AWS to GCP or any other basically hyperscaler of your choice. You don't have to actually move data because data is lying at the CSP location. So again, you don't have to pay any egress charges for this. So bringing down the cost. Now, what are the benefits of this? The improved performance. I am asking about the last case where the compute at the AWS EC2 instances are utilizing the storage capacity at the CSP location. So you don't have to move, and because it's a low latency network, the performance will increase for that. It's not like that, and also the storage systems are enterprise class storage system, and the SLA which they can deliver, you cannot find that type of storage system at the public cloud. So you will get basically improved performance. Second is the data management services. So you can basically use the same set of management applications which you are running at your data center to manage the storage system and data services at the CSP location. Because your data is basically up to the CSP locations, you don't have to bother about basically the management of the AWS part. Data security, since basically the data is confined to up to CSP, so it is secure. You are having a basically dedicated link and it is not exposed. So the security is there, and again, basically you can use the normal data protection technology on any storage system and to basically create copies and the DR solutions. One more thing, basically, you can have the snapshot, lockdown snapshot at the CSP center, and you can also ship those lockdown snapshot, the data on that, to the public cloud, so they can safeguard you against any ransomware attack. Third is the data agility. So migrating applications actually between the hyperscalers is actually seamless. So you can basically, in a very agile fashion, can move your application from AWS to Azure or to GCP. So that's the basically agility part. Now this is another use case actually where we are using the power of public cloud. We know basically public clouds are having thousands of basically instances which can run actually and the application concurrently. So the applications like AI or ML or analytics applications, you can use that. So here basically what the solution is, you are having the data at your own location or on premises. The public cloud, the application resides, the analytic application resides on the public cloud. It will just read your data over on S3. S3 is the protocol which would be used. After reading the data set, the AI or analytics would run at the public cloud. And the results would again basically given back to the on-site data center. So that way, basically, we are leveraging the high computing which is available at the public cloud, and also basically not taking back, because once basically we got the result and the analytics has been completed, we got the desired result for our application, we can discard the data at the public cloud. Correct? So we are using the compute resources to run the analytic operation only for a small amount of time. So without investing much of the hardware infrastructure at your data center, you are leveraging basically the elasticity of your public cloud, running the analytical application there, and also not paying the egress charges because you are discarding the data because you are already having the copy at your data center. Right? So this is another use case. And then basically the role Hitachi services is playing. So we have basically managed services, we have professional services, and we have education services. These are the basically different departments of our Hitachi services. So the professional services is basically there to deploy and configure your cloud, hypercloud, and the infrastructure at your data center. The managed services job is to basically manage for a longer duration. Like it could be a contract of 3 years or 5 years where they are managing the entire infrastructure. And the education services can basically give you the desired knowledge sessions on Hitachi technology. But here we are talking about basically other services which are taken by our Hitachi services, like data discovery assessment. So in basically today's diverse world, when your IT landscape is actually spanning from your data center, edge to cloud, it is very difficult to find out what type of data you are having at each location. So with the data discovery assessment, you can know basically what type of data is lying where and how important that data is. And basis that, you can design and optimize your solution. Monitoring and alerting, this is actually a proactive mechanism where your data center can basically, infrastructure can be monitored, and alerts are basically sent if there is any eventuality. And basically, you are prepared proactively for any eventuality there. Then the data migration services from basically your data center to basically cloud, or also basically it requires the assessment of your applications, where if your applications are ready for cloud, or if it requires some changes. So that type of assessment along with the migration can also be done. So that's all from my side. Thank you.